Hello everyone, it's Omni here coming with a boss/skilling guide. I hope you guys are all having a good day, and we're here hopefully going to learn a couple things. So first off, what I recommend getting is the angler outfit, which you're going to get from the fishing trawler minigame, which might sound like a drag, but they changed the drop rates from 1 out of 8 to 1 out of 12, but they changed it from being a 10-minute game to about a 5-minute game. So overall, it should be pretty quick. Another thing that I recommend you getting is the Dragon Harpoon. It'll significantly boost your XP rates, but if you have a regular harpoon, there's nothing wrong with that. As long as you're out here getting your gains, there's nothing anybody could tell you. So what we're going to do, we're going to cover how to get there. We're going to use my ornate jewelry box over here, and we're going to teleport to Alcarid. So for the sake of the video, we're going to go around, because I know some people don't do their diaries, but this requires the Desert Hard diary. And it's a lot quicker, but in the long run, it's not going to be that big of a deal. Otherwise, you're going to use your Ring of Dueling teleport, and it'll teleport you right by the duel arena, obviously. Or you could potentially even use the Gnome Stronghold glider system and just teleport to Alcarid. So without further ado, let's keep on trudging. We're going to go down to this boat that transports us to the ruins of Unka. Now the area was kind of like the desert in general, actually was kind of bare, and that's not a joke. For it being a desert, there's literally nothing there. So for them to put something here, it's kind of a big deal, and it's kind of cool that they're utilizing this area finally. So there's not a lot here. There's a mining area to the north, and there's also going to be a fishing area, but we're just going to be concerned about the bank for the moment. So basically what you do, this is where you start. You run up the pier and you go and climb up this rope ladder. You're going to need 3 buckets, a rope, and a hammer. You can get all these items here. It's going to be a safe death, so hardcore Ironmen don't have to worry about anything. I really like Tempoross because it gives you your Slayer supplies. It gives you passive fishing gains. It helps, and it's kind of cool to think about, like, them releasing new content like this. Although Wintertodd, Zolcano, it's all gonna be like scaling bosses. But basically, you come here and you go to these fishing spots, and you're gonna fish these raw harpoon fish. So what I do is I get about half my inventory full, and then I'll go cook at these shrines. And while I cook at the shrine, I wait and I look out for. There's gonna be a specific fishing spot that gives you a chance at catching 2 of these harpoon fish. See, they're right there. You can tell that it's in the specific spot because there's a fish literally jumping out of the water, and as you can see, it'll give you double if you're lucky anyway. And so basically the reason I go and cook first is because I feel like it kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone, especially if you're catching 2 at once. So I kind of try to get it out the way, get as much points, So once I'm full, I go back and I watch out for, because Tempoross is going to have 3 different attacks, and here's one. The blue, you'll know this one. Your whole screen will turn blue. It'll look like waves. You got to tether up to this pole, or you'll lose an item, i.e., like the rope or the hammer or the bucket of water, and some of your fish will drop on the ground, which is kind of annoying if you're not paying attention. When I first came here, I was a little more AFK than I kind of thought I was going to be. And I lost all my fish, which isn't a big deal or anything. It happens. And I quickly learned that if you don't pay attention, you're not gonna have a tough time here. You're gonna have a tough time. So the second attack is gonna be these lightning clouds. It's gonna put fire. If you run into these, it's going to also take away an item. So you have to douse these with the buckets of water. So that's what the buckets of water for. The rope is going to be for tethering. The buckets are going to be for these fires. The hammer is going to be for repairing the things that you tether to. I know a lot of information at first, but once you run through the motions 1 or 2 times, it's going to be easy. So, but basically, once you get all your fish cooked, if you're choosing to cook your fish for the points, you're going to come up here to this ammunition crate, and you're going to load up the ammunition crate, and it's therefore going to shoot your cooked fish at the Tempoross directly, lowering its energy level. So once this energy level hits 0, we're going to go down to these pools. See, there's its 3rd attack. It'll disable the cannon and zap you, which honestly doesn't matter. Just keep loading the ammo, and once you're done, just go down here. This is what I do. I genuinely get a head start on my next inventory of fish so I can get just a little more points, because a lot of times it's just a little points that make or break your next ticket reward. So basically, I just get a head start. So you notice that this is about to hit 0, and once it does, we're going to run over here, because Tempoross submerges, and we're going to run over here. You use your special attack, get that +3 boost, and you harpoon the spirit pool, which in turn, this lowers its essence, its spiritual essence, which to me that just equates to HP. But anyway, once you get the HP all the way down to 0, you kill Tempoross, and it's like that over and over again, same process. It's really easy, and honestly, it's really fun as well. I would do it. I'd recommend this to anybody that's just trying to get in the swing of things and get their items and supplies that they need to essentially build an account. It's definitely not a bad place to start, and it helps get your levels all built up, which, you know, no one's gonna complain about. So basically, your energy's all the way back to the top. Tempoross will come to the surface, and we're just gonna worry about getting our harpoon fish for this inventory so we can finish this off with a decent amount of points, which, as you can see, we've already went over the point threshold. So every 700 points after 2,000 points is going to reward you with another ticket for the reward pool at the end, and I'll go into that in depth later after we get done with the kill. So basically, every 700 points you're going to get another reward token. Oh, see, there's a message in the chat box. That'll help you know. You do not want to get hit by any of these attacks. And there's that extra harpoon fish right there. So we're going to go try to get that. We might not be able to cook this whole thing, but that's okay. As long as we get, over 3,500, 4K, 4,500 points. Just depends on how big the group is and how fast the game's going. So you really just want to consistently pay attention to what's going on, because like any of these, if you run through, you're not going to have a good time, and it's going to make your reward tokens will reflect that. Your points will reflect that. If you aren't paying attention and you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you're not going to be getting the points for doing those things, and you're not going to have a good time. So if you're just going to try to get your fishing XP from AFK, I'd recommend monkfish, anglers, something that you're not going to have to consistently stare at that screen for. Because if you don't want to stare at the screen, this isn't for you. This is going to make you irritated and irritable, and you're just not going to have a good time. But for people like me who kind of like to break up the grind and break up what you're doing so it seems less, you'll just do this a little bit, do that a little bit, it just helps break up the grind. And I suppose I could show off how to repair. You just have your hammer, you repair the mast, and then you can tether to it again. So we're about to get a little over 4K points from our second inventory, and there's not much time to go fish and get a whole another inventory and load it. So we're just going to wait right here for the energy pool to come up so we can finish the kill. So yeah, that's really all there is to it for the fight wise. At least it's a really well thought out mini game. I'm really impressed by it. I kind of feel like they could have done a few things a little differently. The mechanics could have worked a little differently, but I like that it's not you're not gonna die. You're not gonna lose your stuff. You don't have to feel like this is a whole waste of time. You don't have to feel like that. It's purely for entertainment. We got 6 reward permits. We got 11 total. So I think I'm going to go and get around 20-25 reward tokens. So another game or two, and I'll see you guys in just it's going to seem like a couple seconds for you, but it's going to be like 20 minutes for me. So I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in a couple minutes. Back, we got the rewards. So basically what I do is I just put my small fishing net inside of my tackle box. I know not a lot of you are going to have it, but if you ask this dude right here, the one that's just sitting next to the reward pool, he'll give you a net to to fish out your rewards. So there's going to be a couple rewards you can get from this place. There's going to be a fish barrel and a tackle box that are both going to have a 1 out of 400 drop rate from fishing out of these pools. There's also going to be a tome of water and a big harpoon fish that both have a drop rate of 1 out of 1600. There's also a pet you can get from here, and you can also get this dragon harpoon straight from out of here, and they're both out of 1 out of 8k. And obviously you can get the spirit flakes too, but we're not really concerned about the spirit flakes. I'm just showing you guys what you guys can typically expect once you get over 81 fishing. It's pretty decent loot actually. So, but everything that I just said was notable drops. That's not everything you will get from these. Alright, so that looks about all. So in those little few games of Tempoross, we got about 50k worth of food and 12 sapphire necklaces. Honestly, it's not the greatest in the world, but honestly, for the supplies and the time that you save by doing this and the extra rewards, it's totally worth it. It's really fun. It's a fun time. I would definitely recommend it to anybody. And honestly, like, just get out and do it, guys. It's really fun. Like always, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys watching this. I appreciate you guys supporting me. I will always be looking to create more content, and if you guys would like to see anything in the future, or if you have anything that I could improve on, I would greatly appreciate you letting me know in the comments. I'm trying to get better. I know this is going to be a little rough, especially for what you guys are used to, but thank you, and as always, have a great day.